Hey there, Unsolved Mysteries fans, Wayward Legacy back at you with another video. So I'm going to do this case first, but first I wanted to say that now we are at 22 subscribers on YouTube, and that is awesome. We keep growing every day, and that's cool. I just want to say thank you all for subscribing and watching the videos. I keep saying this throughout different videos, but it means a lot to me because like I've said in a couple different videos. I remember when I had 4 subscribers and I thought about quitting, and I didn't think I was going to get this many, and like I say, it's not a lot. It's not a whole lot, to like the bigger YouTubers, but it's a lot to me. So yeah, I'm just rehashing what you've already heard in other videos. So thank you, and keep subscribing, and as long as you guys keep watching, I'll keep putting out this content for you. And so this case was suggested to me on Twitter by Nam's Noodle. I consider him a good friend of mine, and actually, Nam, if you're watching this, I would like you to do a response video because I would like to hear your thoughts on the case. Like I said, you have a good mind for unsolved mysteries, and you have a good mind for different theories and stuff like that on different cases. So I would love for you to do a response video on this case. And if you look into my Unsolved Mysteries playlist and you see anything that you find interesting, I would like to see your thoughts and opinions on those cases as well. So yeah, so Nam, this is for you, and I'd like to see a response video if you can do that. That'd be cool. Okay, so this case is Tommy Burkett. So as usual, I got the details of the case. It's a pretty lengthy case. It's a pretty lengthy article, but I'm gonna attempt to read it all anyway. So here we go. This took place on December 1st, 1991. So here we go. Tommy Burkett was a student at Marymount College in 1991, but on Thanksgiving weekend he was found dead in his parents' Virginia home. Officials deemed it a suicide, but his parents believed that he was murdered. There is a belief that he may have asked to be an undercover narcotics agent for the DEA, and that he may have discovered evidence about illegal drugs sold at Marymount. His murder and staged suicide are alleged to have been covered up by not just the college and by the state and federal law enforcement agents. His family wants to know the truth. The following case, ruled a suicide by the Fairfax County Police Department, represents an abuse of power and a conspiracy of monumental proportions, including the FCPD, the coroner, the Virginia ME office, Marymount University, DEA, as well as the FBI, and several other government departments to conceal the murder of one 21-year-old man. On November 30th, 1991, 21-year-old Thomas Burkett left his parents' home in Fairfax County to visit old high school pals in Centerville, Virginia. Tommy's friend lived approximately 7 miles from the Burkett's house. Tommy arrived at his friend's house shortly after 8 p.m. Around midnight on December 1st, Tommy left his friend's house and stopped by an ATM. The ATM camera recorded Tommy making a withdrawal and being approached by 3 white males. Around 2 a.m., Tommy called his parents to let them know that he was staying over at his friend's and he would be home around noon to attend the family's scheduled outing. At 11:45 a.m., Tommy's parents left their home to run an errand. As they were leaving, they heard the sound of tires squealing. Though they did not see the car, witnesses later confirmed that Tommy's blue Mustang was seen being chased by a large dark car. After his parents returned from their errand, they were surprised that Tommy was not yet home. They waited for him till around 2:45 p.m. and then attended a poetry reading, an event which Tommy had promised to go to with his parents. While the couple was away, witnesses claimed to have seen a dark sedan occupied by a white male parked 3 houses down from the Burketts and blocking the entrance to the Burkett Street, Muirkirk Lane. The car stayed there approximately 20 minutes. Later in the afternoon, the sedan, unoccupied at this time, was seen parked in front of the Burkett's house. There were no lights on in the Burkett's house, indicating that someone was inside. At 5:10 p.m., Tommy's blue Mustang was seen going westward on McKirk Lane, and the car then came to a stop in front of the Burkett's house. The driver, an unidentified white male, idled the car until the neighbors had gone inside their homes. At 6:10 p.m., Tommy's parents returned home and observed the unoccupied Mustang parked in front of the house. Upon entering the home, Tommy's father found his son's beaten body sitting upright on his bedroom sofa and facing the room's door. His feet were crossed at the ankles and his hands laid in his lap. Tommy's jaw had been severely broken, and his right ear was a bloody mess of tissue. His father observed his son's torn clothing as well as multiple cuts and bruises. A gun lay position in Tommy's limp hand, and he had a gunshot wound to the head. The father called 911. Shortly thereafter, 2 rescue vehicles were seen heading towards Muirkirk with their sirens on. Witnesses saw the first ambulance turn down the street adjacent to Muirkirk and stop by the curb. People got out of the ambulance and retrieved something from a small ravine, and then drove slowly away without their sirens on. Later investigations would reveal footprints leading from the Burkett's back door down toward the ravine. Though no cast was ever made of the shoe prints, the second ambulance proceeded to the Burketts. EMTs examined Tommy's body and advised the Burketts that he had been dead for several hours. Then, against procedure, left both the body and the scene. Next to Fairfax County police officer Danny McAaron, arrived on scene without having seen the body or crime, announced to the grief-stricken parents that college students kill themselves all the time and don't blame yourself. Without announcing an investigation nor having seen the body, this officer had already concluded on his report that Tommy had committed suicide. In an act of gross negligence, no attempt was made by the FCPD to preserve the crime scene. No police tape was put up. The scene was not photographed nor dusted for prints. No samples of blood were taken, even though the pattern of the blood splattering was inconsistent with the position of the body. The bullet from the wall behind Tommy's head was not removed for ballistics, nor was the gun examined. No casts were made of the footprints behind the Burkett's home. Tommy's vehicle was not searched for evidence, trace evidence, or dusted for prints, though the witnesses saw an unidentified man park the vehicle in front of the house at the time when Tommy was already dead. No note or record was made of the staging of the body. Additionally, no note on record was made of Tommy's broken jaw, battered ear, abrasions, bruising, or torn clothing. Additionally, the neighborhood was not canvassed for witnesses. When the witnesses did approach the officers, they were told that the FCPD did not want to hear it. When another ambulance arrived to take away Tommy's body, Officer Nathan Laney unabashedly laughed at the parents as Tommy's body was taken away at 7:06 p.m. The detective in charge, Thomas Lyons, told the father to clean up the mess. In addition to the crassness of the detective's remarks, this action is in blatant disregard for the need to preserve the crime scene. Cleaning up the mess would in fact destroy crucial evidence. The last officer on the scene, Officer McAaron, the officer told the witnesses that he didn't want their statements, prevented the parents from inspecting Tommy's car, and told them that the FCPD had already done so, even though the car was not inspected, let alone dusted for prints or blood. McAaron then ordered them to go back inside their house and said that he would say a prayer for them. As he drove away, by 7:06, all rescue personnel and officers except McAaron had left the scene. Tommy Burkett was a junior in the fall of 1991. During his semester, he was reportedly harassed by students Philip Howley, the son of a police officer, and Donald Adam McEwen, grandson of an MU trustee. The harassment ranged from theft to vicious assaults. November 16th, Howley beat Burkett so badly that his swollen face was unrecognizable. Campus security failed to report the result to the Arlington PD, and MU officials refused to give copies of the security incident report to the Burketts after Tommy was found dead on December 1st. MU official Nancy McMahon reportedly told staff not to talk to the Burketts Incidentally, on December 3rd, McMahon presented the Burketts with Tommy's driver's license, which had been missing from his person, when his body was found, claiming that a student had given it to her. She refused to tell the Burketts who the student was. It was later learned that the student had been Philip Howley. Eric Holes, director of campus safety, also refused Burketts copies of the incident reports maintained on the assault of their son. He told the Burketts, we're not going around asking questions around here. We're not going to do anything that would hurt the reputations of other students involved in this. A couple days prior to Tommy's alleged suicide, His dorm mailbox had been broken into, and his mail, including his paycheck, were stolen. Campus security filed a report and assured Tommy that the Arlington PD would be called in to investigate the theft and destruction to campus property. However, the APD was never contacted by MU. After Tommy's murder, members of the board trustees refused to meet with Tommy's parents to aid in the investigation of the death in any way. Friends and family members found it very odd, as well, that while 2 ambulances were dispatched to the crime scene, the first one stopped on the way to retrieve an object from the ravine that ran behind the Burkett's home, and then quietly left without their sirens on, never going back to the Burkett's. The same ravine was shown to have footprints down it from the Burkett's back door, yet casts were never made of the prints, nor was the ravine searched. Dr. J. Briers, Deputy Chief Medical Examiner for the North Virginia region, performed an autopsy on Tommy's body the day after ME reports stating time and cause of death had been signed. The autopsy report on the body listed no visible injuries with the exception of the gunshot wound, despite the fact that the body presented with severe jaw trauma, right ear trauma, and numerous cuts, abrasions, and bruises. Contrary to standards of autopsies, Byers, when requested by the Burketts for copies of the autopsy photos, claimed that no photos had been taken of Tommy's body, even though Byers had shown Mr. Burkett a photo previously. Furthermore, when questioned in a Senate hearing about a ruling of suicide that Byers had made on an autopsy conducted on the body of White House aide Vincent Foster in 1994, Byers stated that he had ruled the death a suicide based on the trauma to the jaw and presence of gunpowder residue. Byers then admitted under oath that in the Burkett case, he had made his ruling of suicide based on the absence of jaw trauma and gunpowder residue. Byers also made a claim in the autopsy of another suicide victim. So, according to this, there's no one known for suspects. It's still unresolved today. Unfortunately, Tommy's mother, Beth George, died of cancer in 2003 without learning the truth in this case. So like many cases, where the parents, or where one of the parents has passed on. I don't know if his father is still alive. I guess he would be because it doesn't say it. But yeah, that's unfortunate. That happened. There's many cases like this that go kind of like that, and it's unfortunate. So I'm just gonna kind of scroll through the articles to get the names of the guys who I talked about earlier. So Philip Howley and Donald Adam McEwen. I believe this was a murder, and I believe that this murder was committed by Howley and McEwen. This case has a lot of different things. Like the police, should have looked further into it when they didn't do anything. They didn't canvass the crime scene. They didn't go over anything. They didn't take the bullet out for ballistics. There's just so many holes in this case. And the fact that 2 ambulances came down, and one went to the ravine, like one rushed through the ravine with its sirens on, and then went to the ravine and picked up whatever was dropped down there, and then to go back into the ambulance and then go back quietly without its sirens on is very fishy to me. I do believe it was Howley and McEwen, because Howley, the son of a police officer, obviously the officer probably talked to everybody in his in the department, and they kind of worked this whole thing out, to just kind of protect it and just make it say that it was a suicide, and they really had no there was no evidence for them to look into it. Yeah, there's all this evidence here that he had been beaten. He had his ear was badly cut up. He had cuts and abrasions all over his body. There's just so many different holes in this investigation and in this case as well. that make me point to, and you know, we've seen cases like this where there's been, well, like the case I did yesterday or the other day, the Bordello murders, with the hell was that guy's name? Ed Carter, right? Ed Carter, he worked as a police officer, and you know, they were, according to one of the girls who had previously worked for the massage parlor, said that, you know, the cops that were in and out, they knew the ins and outs of the business, and you know, it was obvious that Ed was protected, and is still being protected because, you know, he was convicted of the murder and then, you know, subsequently dropped. You know, he was let go in the investigation and cleared of the charges. Yet, you know, there was so many testimonies and so many things that his ex-wife had said, among others, saying, you know, that he was responsible and that there was a gun there. But you know, that's a totally different case. And if you want to check that video out, you know, feel free to. It's in my playlist, Unsolved Mysteries. But yeah, you know, just like that case, you know, there's a son of a police officer here. So obviously, this police officer, you know, found out that his son had did this, and you know, he took every step that he could to make sure that his son wasn't linked to the murder. So you know, that's what I think. You know, I believe that they probably, you know, because they've been harassing this guy for a while, and you know, I believe that's what they had something to do with it. You know, they were the ones who probably approached him at the ATM. They were the ones that probably took, you know, the checks and the money and stuff like that from his mailbox. You know. You know, that's my theory. I believe these guys did it. They probably did it for money, and you know, I'm guessing they were probably involved in drugs. And if Tommy was gonna, you know, do it like join in as like a investigator for like on the campus to see, you know, who was selling drugs, maybe he caught these two guys, you know, kind of selling drugs and stuff like that, and you know, that's why they did this. You know, I don't know. But yeah, you know, this guy being, this Philip Halley guy being the son of a police officer, you know, that makes me think that he was involved in this, and his father, you know, did everything, and you know, talked to the higher ups and stuff like that to make sure that his son was not, you know, ruled as a suspect in this case, and you know, just also with the autopsy and stuff like that, you know, and no autopsy photos, you know, it was clear that this Howley guy, if he did it, is being protected, you know, by his father. His father probably talked to everybody in the department, and you know, among other people, and you know, you're protecting this guy, and that's what I believe happened. So yeah, there's really a whole lot to cover, but yeah, you know, I think I'm gonna go with the murder theory. I believe this Halley guy did it, and I believe he was being protected, you know, by his father, and you know, all that, you know, everything that I've already said. So, you know, if you like this video, give a like, comment, subscribe. Nam's Noodle, I would love to see your response on this video, and on this case, I'd love to see your thoughts and theories on it. Among his subscribers, if you want to comment and give me your theories on the comments, and you know, all the plot holes in this case and stuff like that, feel free to. If you subscribe to me, I'll subscribe back to you. Sorry guys, my throat's all a bit froggy from all this talking here, but here we go. So yeah, you know, give me your thoughts on the case, and you know, let me know your thoughts and theories. As usual, my Twitter link and PSN link will be in the description. I will also put Nam's Noodle's Twitter link and his YouTube channel in the description, so you can follow him on Twitter, you can subscribe to him, you can check out his videos. I don't know if he's planning to do it, but I hope he does more Unsolved Mysteries, because I like watching I like watching his videos on Unsolved Mysteries. Like I said, you know, he has a good mind for it. You know, he has a passion for the show like I do, and as among all of you guys do, and you know, all of us on YouTube that you know, miss the show on YouTube, that are trying to get it back on YouTube, and you know, trying to keep the show alive. You know, he's like me. He has a passion for the show, and you know, he wants to keep the spirit alive as well as I do, as well as you know, there's other people too that are on YouTube that cover this stuff as well, that I really haven't got the chance to you know, approach or anything like that. But there's these guys that do uncovering unsolved mysteries. So you know, I'm thinking that maybe Nam and I should approach those guys, and you know, maybe we could do a collaboration with those guys, because those guys look like I haven't checked any out of their videos yet, but you know, they look like they have a lot of you know, passion for the show as well. And you know, I think Nam and I would be pretty good with those guys. But you know, so that'd be cool if that ever happened someday. You know, I don't know. We'd have to contact those guys and stuff like that. But yeah, you know, that's pretty much all I gotta say for this one. There will be another Unsolved Mysteries video straight after this one. It's gonna be the Terra Calico case. So yeah, look out for that. And you know, as usual, you know, that's pretty much all I gotta say for this video right now. I may do a GTA 3 stream tonight, not sure, but yeah, you know, like I said, that's all I gotta say right now, and I'll see you in the next one. Wayward out.